60 years. What is your reward? Health. Very good. Ano pa? Long life. Yes, ano pa? You get to see your
Grandchildren.
grandchildren, your mga po. Ano pa? Ano pa? Long life, health. Nakalimutan nyo na. Senior citizen card. 50% discount. Okay. Sige. A while ago, we learned about God's part, right? Now, we'll talk about your part. Don't think that you have no part. You have a part to do. A very important part. This is the biblical perspective of our part in handling money. Now, this one, no one can do except you. You cannot tell your wife, oh, you do this. You cannot tell your husband, oh, you do this. No, no. You have to do your part. Are you with me? Yes. Louder, are you with me?
With you.
Very good. What is your part? Well, our part is having money. Since we have acknowledged that God is owner, controller, and provider in regard to our money, what are we best described as when it comes to how we must handle money? We are fantastic. We are stewards. Yes. A woman's steward is a what? Stewardess. What it is? Okay, steward. Okay. Now, the Bible says in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 2, moreover, it is required of stewards, tayo, that one be found faithful. That we must be found faithful. So here's my question, friends. What is our sole responsibility as stewards? What's our sole responsibility? Everyone? We must be faithful. That's as simple as it is. But you and I must be faithful. We must be trustworthy. We must be loyal. We must be faithful. Now, do you realize that you are stewards of many things today? You're stewards of many things today. God has given you these things. They don't belong to you, but you are to be a steward of it. A steward is like a manager. Not the owner, but the manager. If you are in a company, and you are a supervisor, a manager, the owner is different. At night, when you go home as a manager, you don't think about the company. You don't worry. But the owner, when he goes home at night, he worries about his company because it's his company. You see, you today should not be worried about your life because you have a master and owner. Let him worry about it, not you. What are we stewards of today? There are 4 T's. 4 T's that you are stewards of today. The first one is time. Second is talent. Third is treasure. The fourth one is truth. The truth you're learning today. So, when it comes to time, we all have the same amount of time. How are you using your time? How are you managing your time? Your talents. These are your gifts, your abilities. What God has given you, gifted you with. Are you faithful in using your talents? Your treasures. These are your finances, your money. Are you faithful? You see, God does not bless you just so you can enjoy yourself. It's so you can be a blessing to others. And then your truth. The truth that you learn, are you passing that on to others? These are the 4 things that you need to be good stewards of. So, when it comes to our part, what does the Bible say? In Matthew 25, verse 15, there's a parable that Jesus taught. He taught his disciples. In this parable, he talked about a master who's going on a long vacation. But before he goes on this vacation, he calls his servants, his stewards, slaves. He called them and he says, I'm going on a vacation. Before I go, I'm going to give each of you a certain amount. And I'm going to go. When I come back from my vacation, I want you to give an accounting. Tell me, what did you do with what I gave you? It's very similar to us today. Jesus has given us, all of us, a certain amount. And he says, I want you to be faithful with what you've been given. Notice, to one he gave what? 5 talents. To another he gave 2. And to another, 1. Each according to his own ability. And he went on his journey. You have to understand, a talent in those days is a big amount of money. It's not just a small amount of money. Talent is a weight of gold or silver. And it's a huge amount. So he gave one 5, he gave another one how much? 2, and another one? 1. Now, if you look around today, you ask yourself, why do I have more than the person beside me? Why do I have more than the person beside me? Why does the person behind me have more than me? Why does the person on my left have less than me? Why does the person in front of me have more than me? In other words, if you look around, how come we're all different? How come each of us is different in what we have today? And the answer is here. Notice, each according to his own ability. God has given you what you have today because He knows what you can handle. And He's looking to you to be a good steward with what He's given you. If you're not a good steward, there are consequences. There are consequences. So what do we learn from this? Just this alone. When it comes to our part, we must be faithful with the amount God has given us, little or a lot. Can you all say that with me?
We must
Be faithful with the amount God has given us, little or a lot. Now, it's not the amount that you've been given. It's the faithfulness with what you've been given. In other words, it's not what you would do if you had 100,000 pesos. It's what you are doing now with the 1,000 pesos that you have. If you're single here today, you might be saying, I don't have much money. I just have a little. Okay. Then with what little you have, how are you faithful with the little that you have? You might have a lot of money today. And you're saying, well, what do I do with this? No, God is watching to see what you're doing with the lot that He's given you. So whether it's a little or a lot, how faithful are you with the amount God has given you? How faithful are you? You know, today there's a lot of advertising. There's a lot of promotion. There's a lot of temptations. You read magazines, social media, billboards, TV, all these things, always attracting us to buy, to spend our money. And so the money that you have today, are you using it wisely? Are you spending it wisely? Are you investing it wisely? For example, if you saw a billboard, and the billboard said this, minivan for sale, slightly used by first owner, complete with all the options, new tires, and aircon, must see to appreciate, in perfect what?
Running.
Perfect running condition. Ano ba? 50%. How many of you here would say this is a good buy? How many of you say this is a good buy? I'd buy this. I'd buy this. How many of you? Yes, 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 yes. Diba? First owner, all options, new tires, see to appreciate, perfect running condition. 50%. Good buy. Good buy. Very good buy. So this is what you would end up buying. There. It's not perfect running condition. 50% off. What am I saying? Oftentimes, when we see advertisements, we get tempted to buy things that we're not supposed to really buy. So, be careful what you use your money for. We continue in the story. The master came back after the long vacation, and he called his servants, his stewards, and he says, tell me, what did you do with what I gave you? The one that received 5 talents, he went to the master and said, Master, here's 5 plus 5. Dinoble ko. The master said, fantastic, well done, well done. The one who had 2 talents came to the master. And he also said, Master, ito yung dalawa pa, I gave you 2 more. The master was so happy. Look what he says. And then the one guy who had 1 talent, ang ginawa niya is he buried it underground. Tinago niya. He covered it. And when the master came back, he said, Master, here's the 1 talent that you gave me. And that's all. Walang investment, nothing. So the master says, therefore take away the talent from him, from the person had 1 talent, and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has shall more be given, and he shall have an abundance. But from the one who does not have, even what he does have shall be taken away. Notice, the person who had only 1 talent, what he was given was nothing. It was taken away from him. And the one who had 10 talents was given more. Given more. God says here, he shall have an abundance, but from the one who does not have, even what he does have shall be taken away. Today, is God taking away things from you? Is God taking away things from your life? And you're saying, Lord, why are you taking that away? Lord, why are you taking this away? Why are you taking this away? You're saying, stop taking. Are you faithful? Maybe you're not faithful in your work, in your business, in what God has given you. And they said, oh, tama na. I'm getting that from you. See, the principle here is this. We must be faithful with what God has given us, or He will take it away. If you're not faithful, I'm sorry, but He's going to take it away. That's the way He works. The result that servant was chastised. The servant with only the one talent, he was chastised. The talent was taken away from him, and he was given to another, and he was cast into the outer darkness to suffer. That servant who had one talent, he did not know his master. He did not know his master well enough to do what the master required. What about you today? Do you know your master? Do you know what your master, God, wants you to do? He wants you to be faithful. Are you faithful with the little He's given you? Because if not, He will take it away. He will take it away. You know, in your young days, maybe you had piggybacks like this. Did you have piggybacks like this? How come, John? Today, your piggybacks may look like this, but you know what? Tomorrow, yes, tomorrow it may look like this. Wala na. Hindi na inflation, but recession, ha? Okay. So it comes to our part. In Luke chapter 16, verse 12, it says, "And if you have not been faithful in the use of that which is another's, who will give you that which is your own?" What is it saying to us? It's saying we must be faithful with the use of another's possessions. Because everything outside of your own possession belongs to other people. Yes or no? Yes. Everything else belongs. When you woke up this morning and you're in your house, you're still in your possession. But when you went out and you came here, for example, the seats you're sitting on, the table, the air conditioning, the lights, all these things do not belong to you, they belong to other people. In your company, when you're working, all those equipments, the furniture, the supplies, the business itself, that is not yours. How are you taking care and being faithful with the use of that which belongs to other people? Are you faithful in those areas? Because you see, friends, God is looking at your life and He's saying, are you faithful with what I've given you? Are you faithful with that which does not belong to you, but still you use? You use. In all these areas, God is looking for faithfulness. He's looking for faithfulness. For example here, are we faithful with other people's things that we borrow, we rent, or use for a short while? Are we careless with company supplies and equipment? When it comes to faithfulness, do we waste electricity, water, resources when we know that we are not paying for it? When someone allows us to use something, are we careful to return it on time, in the same condition as when we first borrowed it? Think of the books, the makeup that you borrowed. You maybe need to return those things to the owner. Okay? Whatever it is, be faithful with all these things. A friend of mine borrowed a car from his best friend because he didn't have a car. So he borrowed his car. He went out and used it on a date. When he parked it in the restaurant, he ate, and when he came out, he found out that a car came and bumped him on the side and didn't even leave a note, just left, hit and run. He got back to the car and said, "Oh no, the car's bumped." So he went back to his friend and says, "I'm really sorry, but it was not my fault, but your car was bumped in the parking lot. Please give me a few days, I'm going to have it fixed at my expense." So he had the car fixed, completely fixed, and then detailed, fixed a little better than when he first borrowed it, and then he gave it back to his friend. The friend was so happy, he says, "Is this my car? I'm good nuts, it's really fixed up and clean." Let me ask you, if that friend asks his best friend to borrow the car again, will he lend it to him? Yes, because he was faithful using it. The same thing with us. If we're faithful with what God has given us, and with that which belongs to other people, God will continue to bless us and allow us to use more things and bless us even more. That's the way it works. It's just like money. How faithful are you with the use of your money? Does anyone here have a bill that they can borrow? Anyone who has a bill? Thank you. Anything, any bill. Thank you. Your name is? Bom. Okay. Bom. 20 peso bill. Okay. 20 pesos. That's all you have? 20 pesos? 20 pesos. Okay. 20 pesos. You know, 20 pesos. When you get a bill that's not yours, what do you do with it? It belongs to God, right? So you have to invest it. You need to double it. So I will teach you something today to double your money. Would you like to know how to learn? Would you like to learn how to double your money?
Yes.
Yes? Very simple. I'm trained many, many years, huh? Okay, watch carefully. Watch carefully. Don't worry, relax. Okay lang, don't worry. Yun. Okay, watch carefully. Double. Ay, what double nga eh? No, don't worry about it. Ay. Does anyone have another bill that I can use? Anyone else? No? Okay. You know, sometimes when you make mistakes in life, have you made mistakes in life?
Yes.
Yes. And we say, I made a mistake. I can't believe I made another mistake. And our life is just filled with all kinds of mistakes. And it's just one mistake after the other. And look at how our life is a mess. You know, you go to God and say, God, I'm really sorry for what I made. I made a mess, but I want to turn my life around. Lord, help me turn my life around. God will honor your prayer. And He will allow you to turn your life around so that in the end you will have 1,000 pesos.